Okay, this is a package that I've been waiting for a little while, only because I've been waiting for a deal. As with all my stuff, I go back to my roots about not paying retail. These should be, and in fact I know they are, the wireless version of these. These are the V-MODA Crossfade 100s, the wired version. It's got a mic in on the line, works very well with an iPhone. I haven't tried it with an Android for making calls and receiving calls, but it works superbly. I love the form factor, so when I saw that there was a wireless Bluetooth version, I went on a hunt for a deal. Took a little bit, but I found one. So, let's open her up. Now, one thing I like about Crossfade, or I should say V-MODA, and the Crossfades that I've had, is that they have really good quality, even the packaging. So, in packaging, there's a pleather handle here, like rivets. You don't need to, even though there's a little scissor icon here, you don't need to do that. I shouldn't say that. Because this was a deal, it was an open box. There's usually a piece of fabric here that you need to cut. Once you cut that, this is a snap. Haha, right? Snap. It's got a little thing there. Take this out. Should be in the case. And the usual paperwork, warranty, and probably instructions, but who reads that? So, with regard to these, they are essentially identical to the Crossfade 100s with the wire, except of course these collapse like this, and they have a case that fits them when they're collapsed like this. So up until now, these were one of my favorite headphones to travel with because of how compact they are, whether they're in their case or even when they're not in their case. But we're not here to talk about, oh, sorry, Jon Snow. We're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about this guy. So my hope is that if this sounds as good as this, because this is one of my favorite sounding across the spectrum, from mids to highs to lows, that is wired that I own. With regard to all the specs, it's the same deal with regard to the 50 millimeter dual diaphragm inside the ear cup. I don't know what the heck that has to do with the sound or not. And when you open this, I think I did it upside down, but doesn't matter. Here's the headphones, and there's a little, got Velcro on it, and ghost back there, has a little strappy deal where it comes with the usual carabiner, and a adapter jack. Was it a 1/4 inch? Forgive me, for studio work, or listening, I should say. But these are more of a consumption headphone than a studio headphone for sure. So looking at the headphone, let me just open up Bluetooth settings here real quick, so I can connect them for you. But looking at them, they're really pretty simple. These are the gunmetal black. They have the same headband. They're constructed the same. The only difference is the wishbone construction here that connects the ear cup to the band. Does not fold in like this, so don't try that. It expands at that point, at the end of the plastic. I don't need it to expand because I have a smaller head, which is another reason why I like these. I do have, as I mentioned in other videos, my hat size is 7 1/8, so I don't have the biggest head in the world, and these fit snugly and tapered to my head nicely so they don't stick out. They're not hitting things or getting in my way or smacking other people or looking. They're very small form factor, but at the same time they're very comfortable. At least these are. So I expect these to be just the same. On the inside of the headband, there's an indicator for left and right. So as I hold these to your right, as you're the viewer right, there's the on-off switch, which when the switch here is all the way up, clicked, it'll click towards you. As you wear it, it'll click backwards towards the back of your head. To turn them on, you just push this forward. Before I do that though, on the top of the right ear cup, you have the controls. If you depress the middle button, it'll bring up Siri. So I think you can control Siri if you have an iPhone with this. And then of course, forward and back and volume buttons, I believe, are what these relate to. And then lastly, you can use a wire. The V-MODA, you can make them wired if you lose battery power or what have you. You can use a male-to-male jack for these, whether it's in line with a mic like this or not, just a straight line for listening. And then finally, the port on the left ear cup is a mini or micro? Mini USB. Why do they have to have two of those? Goddamn GoPros. Anyway, whatever. That's where you charge it. When you charge it, you'll see the little indicator light on the power button. You won't see any lights over here. It's a little weird. But anyway, so when you turn it on, there'll be a chime. It doesn't talk to you like the other guys, right? It just has a little chime. So it'll click on. He said hopefully. Wait, why is this giving me so much grief? Sorry guys. There you go. Alright, hopefully you heard that. So when you turn it on, it makes a little sound and it starts to blink. To pair it, it's got a spring load. Just quickly, oh, sorry, phone fell asleep. I'm about to fall asleep, it's like 2 o'clock. Make sure you can see what I'm doing here. You just quickly go like that. There you go. Now it's connected, it'll make a noise and you'll have the solid blue. So that's about it. It's pretty simple. It does not have active noise cancellation like the other two that I reviewed that do have that, being the Bose QC35 and the Sennheiser Momentum 2.0. If anything, these are just passive noise isolation because they are over ear. So when you're playing music, you're really not going to hear a whole lot. At least with these, my experience with these. So I'll do a sound test and I'll come back. And two things. I'm going to probably most definitely compare the wired version to the wireless version, apples to apples, virtually. Um, if the wireless version sounds as good as the wired version, I'll be a very happy man. Um, and let me know if you're interested in seeing such a comparison or wondering what my thoughts are if I take the time to compare these, which won't be hard because I'll be rocking these on my head for the next, few days or week or so to compare both of these. But I wonder how these will stack up against the Sennheiser's Momentum 2.0 and the Bose QC35. As quickly as I can, I'll reiterate what I said in some other videos, and the other videos about those two with the active noise cancellation. I thought, to my ear, the Sennheiser had a better overall sound spectrum from bass to highs, and then did the Bose QC35s. These, the wired ones, I can't speak for these yet, but these were definitely my wired go-tos. Sometimes some of my Sennheisers that are open back, I'll go to those if I'm watching a movie, but if I'm gonna go somewhere like, I don't know, get an oil change or whatever, and I know I'm gonna be sitting there for an hour or two, just, getting my car inspected or worked on or what have you, these are my go-to because of the small form factor, easy to carry, and whether I'm watching an episode of Game of Thrones, a movie, YouTube, or I'm listening to music, these things handle it. Any genre of music, from rock, hip-hop, techno, house, which is usually my go-to, and I even had these around Christmas time because I got a deal on these around Thanksgiving last year. I was listening to some classical Christmas music on these, and it sounded great. So, again, not to get too long-winded on a simple unboxing of these headphones, I'll get into more detail when I test them. But that's how how you set them up. It's how they look, and again, they're a little bit different the way that they don't collapse, but they do provide a case and this funky little deal to handle all your wires and stuff. Alright, I guess I'd recommend putting the headphones in here first and then this. There you go. Bam! Alright. And then to turn it off, again, it snaps towards you or it snaps this direction. That makes a chime to let you know that it's turned off. I do not know the specifics as to standby time and how long it'll last. It'll probably stack up. I hope it'll stack up with its competitors. Give me at least a week of standby if I'm not using it, but I'll let you know when and if I do a review of these guys. But putting them up against these and feeling that there's no difference in feeling, so I think they'll be just as comfortable on the head as are these, just without the wire. So hope you dig it. If you did, let me know, and also let me know, of course I'm gonna do, like I said, a comparison between the two models, but if you're interested in knowing how these stack up against the active noise cancellation ones, because honestly I don't, again, having not paid retail, off the top of my head right now I forget exactly how much these go for. I believe they're pretty expensive for a non-active noise cancellation headphone. But if they sound like these, you're gonna get what you pay for. because these sound awesome. So I'll end it there. Let me know, and yeah, you know the drill.